Hey everyone, you're listening to Ankur Warikoo on Voice with Warikoo. On this podcast, I talk to you about entrepreneurship, how to grow in life, manage personal finances, handle failures, and a lot more things that just come to my mind. The episode begins. There's a beautiful ghazal that is sung by Jagjit Singh, one of his most famous ones, which is called Ye Daulat Bhi Le Lo. And it starts with a absolutely mesmerizing phrase that I wanted to start this podcast episode with. Ye daulat bhi le lo, ye shohrat bhi le lo, bhale chheen lo mujhse meri jawani, magar mujhko lauta do, bachpan ka sawan, wo kaagaz ki kashti, wo barish ka pani. Take away this wealth, take away this fame, even take away my youth if you want to. But return me my childhood days, those paper boats, those rainy days. There's something about our childhood that is fascinating. Irrespective of how young we are right now, how successful we are, almost everyone on earth remembers their childhood with a certain sense of euphoria, a certain sense of nostalgia, a certain sense of even regret. I wish I could have done that. I wish I could have done that. And I've often wondered, what about childhood is so captivating? What about it is so mesmerizing? And to me, it's essentially three things. When we were kids, the most beautiful thing about us was that we were never judging. We were never judging anybody. It didn't matter whether you were black or white. It didn't matter whether you were Hindu, Muslim. It didn't matter whether you were rich or poor. Nothing mattered except the fact that I wanted to play with you, except the fact that I wanted to be friends with you, except the fact that I wanted to run with you, play in the dirt with you, make friends with you. There was nothing that identified kids except just the fact that they were kids. There was no identity beyond that one designation, that I'm a child, that I'm a toddler, that I'm a kid. And somehow, this judgment began to creep into us. And I would be the first one to say that parents were to be blamed, because parents were the one who suddenly started bringing in that sense of right and wrong, which was in the early days around things, and then very quickly became about people. We were always told, don't go and touch that hot thing. You may burn yourself or hurt yourself. Don't go and play with knives. You will hurt yourself. Don't go out on the streets by yourself. You may get hit by something. And those were the right or wrongs that our parents suddenly translated into people. Don't go near that person. That person means something. Don't engage with these people. These people mean something. Don't go and make friends with such category, because this category means something. And we frankly didn't know why they were saying what they were saying. And because we were kids, we would just believe them. We would just trust them. And in that journey of trusting someone, we began to mistrust people. And that, I think, is something we all miss. Wouldn't it be wonderful? Wouldn't it be absolutely wonderful if I could just meet and interact with someone without judging them? Without for a second thinking of where they've come from, how they look, how they speak, how they're dressed, and nothing about them that is influencing my view of them, but just see them for who they are. Wouldn't that be precious? Wouldn't that be absolutely pure? And unfortunately, we'll never get that. We will never, ever get back to that point. The second thing, and one that fascinates me the most about childhood, is we didn't have any fear. We didn't have any fear. We were literally like stupid fools running into walls, assuming that they were porous, just running on the street, assuming nothing would happen, just go and grab the mouth of a dog or a cat because we felt like it, do things without any sense of what's right, what's wrong, whether we should do it or not do it. And that was absolutely beautiful, because in some way, it was what I would always want everyone to be, including myself. Imagine how much can we achieve in life if we did not fear what's going to happen to us? If we had no sense of what could happen to us, and that was what gave us courage instead of knowing for a fact that we're going to win. Wouldn't that be wonderful? But we were suddenly told to fear things. And for the right reasons. I can't blame parents for this one because they had to, in some way, ensure that even in their absence, their kids would not suffer any harm. So we were suddenly given these prescriptions. Do this, don't do this. This is right, this is not right. This is harmful, this is harmless. This is what you can do, this is what you can't do. And it suddenly manifested, not necessarily in terms of just things, but also experiences. And that's where I think things broke down. Our parents and the world in general began to impose right or wrong over experiences. Girls, don't talk to boys. It's wrong. Be fearful of them. Hey, young kids, don't speak to strangers. Be fearful of them. People who are nice to you, be fearful of them. They have an agenda. People who are trying to say something to you without needing anything in return, be wary of them. Be fearful of them. People who are not able to earn as much in their lives and suddenly become like losers, be fearful of becoming that person. That guy or that girl who doesn't study as much and just whiles away their time, barely passing their exams, be fearful of becoming that person. That person who didn't make it to the top engineering or the top law, the top CA, whatever rank, be fearful of becoming that person. We suddenly were in this concoction of judging people and suddenly being told to be fearful of becoming them as well. And then the third and the most tragic thing that we lost when we become adults, we stopped to live in the moment. As kids, the best thing was there was no past. It's amazing how my kids would go through an experience which I think would be very horrid for them to just forget about it in the next second, in the next minute. It's almost as if they didn't even know. They have this way of erasing their memory and not having any recollection whatsoever of what they've just experienced. They would fall on the floor, get hurt, cry like someone's dead, and then in 5 minutes be playing as if nothing happened. That's beautiful. They have zero recollection of the past and they're not necessarily thinking about it. They're never bringing up the fact, oh, Dad, remember the time that you spoke to me like that? I didn't like it. And I think I'm going to hold a grudge against you for the rest of my life for that. Or worrying about the future. Oh my God, what's going to happen tomorrow? Oh my God, am I going to be this person tomorrow? Am I going to earn this much tomorrow? Am I going to be successful tomorrow? Am I going to be a failure tomorrow? Am I going to know what I want to do in my life tomorrow? Kids are never worrying about the future, nor reflecting on the past. They only have one thing that they're living in, this very moment. That's it. That's all that there is in their life. And that's fascinating because that is all that there is to life as well. If we could all live in the moment, if we could all live in the moment, all of us would be happy. But we worry. We worry about what's happened to us in the past. We worry about what's going to happen to us in the future. And because of that, we let go of the only thing that we always have, this precise moment. And when you think about these three things that we lost when we were kids, the fact that we never judged people, the fact that we didn't fear anything, the fact that we never worried about the future or the past, we realized how much we gave to become these so-called adults. And it makes me wonder, did we really sacrifice the most precious thing we had in order to lead this life that we're leading right now? Is there a way to go back? I don't know. I think it's hard. I think it's virtually impossible. But I also feel that within all of us is a child that is still yearning to come out. We only have to listen to that person. We only have to listen to that child. All the best. Thank you for listening to this episode of Voice with Warikoo. To be notified of upcoming episodes, be sure to subscribe and follow the show on this app right now. Also, don't forget to rate and review the show because that just feels nice. Thank you.